Hey guys, Dillian Mode here. On this video, I'm gonna be making a beat rundown of a beat that I submitted for a contest. So I will be going through all the loops and samples that I used to make this beat, alright? So I'll see you in there. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the video. Before I start doing this beat rundown, if you like my videos, if you like my content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and please follow me on Instagram for more beat making videos and guitar jams and stuff like that. This video is a rundown of this beat that I made for the Cymatics Orchid beat contest. So I get this random email from Cymatics saying that there's an $8,000 prize beat contest and that what we needed to do was download the free sample pack and then make a beat using the samples from that pack. So this is what I made. This is my take on it. So thanks for Cymatics for doing all this and having us producers, you know, just exhibit our beats and how we make them. So I really wanted to do this. It came out pretty well. I wish that I could win, and please keep your fingers crossed. Before we listen to the beat, I want to go over the sounds. So I think I started out, I made this beat last week, and I think I started out with this one, the melodies, right? I started off with this lead random bends. So it's kind of like, let me look for the one shot here. It's all melody one shot. So for Orchid lead random bend, so it's this one. Yeah, I picked that one for some of my melodies, and I just put them over here on the chorus, and they do something like this. And what I did to this sound was I added some drip, the magic preset. I don't know if I moved it a lot. I think I just picked up that magic preset. So I'm gonna take all the inserts out and then play it. Right. This is how it sounds without all the inserts. Very different. So as you can see here, I have some drip, I have some red light distortion, but I took it out. I have some kickstart and I have a pro EQ. So like turning them on one by one, drip will make it sound like this. Right. And then with kickstart and the pro EQ, it will sound like this. And it has like these little pops, but they don't really, you can't really listen to it when they're on the beat. So yeah, next up from the instrumental section, I took this one, I took this one, the Orchid Key Swirl, and this one. And this one I took it to make some chords, and I blended it with, I blended it with this other synth, which is Orchid Synth's God Voice, which is this one from the Cymatics. The one is darker than the other, and I just thought of, you know, just layering these two, and there is a really simple chord progression. It's like a C minor kind of thing with a C sharp right here. It's a mode. Both of them just have some EQ on it. I really didn't do anything to it. They were really nice and I just like them like that. So let's listen to how those chords sound. then what I did was I took this ARP. Now you can see the MIDI notations is just the same notes and same chords as this other keys and synth. But what I did was I put it through an arpeggiator and I played along with it until I found a melody or some kind of pattern that really suited me, right? I had to turn it into an audio file so I could manipulate it more. And what I got was this. And obviously I put some effects and stuff and some more reverb and delay. But it's because I changed it into audio. I can't show you the plugins that I used and everything, but I'm pretty sure it has some halftime and stuff like that. It's kind of scary and mysterious, and that's what I love. I love making mysterious kind of sounds. After that ARP, I just took this reverse right here, this Cymatics reverse, which is called, let me see if I can get the name of it. Orchid keys jagged edges. So this one, right? So I just took one note and I played it, or since it was in this key of C anyways, I think I just dragged it in and I added some room reverb right here with a bit of delay, with a lot of decay, and then I reversed it and it just sounds like this. And it gives it that vibe, like a riser kind of vibe. When we listen to the whole beat, we'll listen to it in context and you'll see how it just creates this movement, this wavy movement. Next up, I have this vocal sample. What I did was I chopped it up and stuff. So they have a couple of vocal loops that are really cool. And the one that I use, and I'm gonna take all my processing out, was this one. See? It's one of these ones, and I just used that part over and over and over again. I would add a wider. Now it sounds wider. Some pancake, so it pans, so you can hear it going from left to right consistently. Also has that like blam, like right here, and it just gives it something that I didn't even know that it was there, and it gives it like this ambient sound. Then I cued it, and then I added some compressor so it sounds bigger. The sample already has some reverb and stuff, so I didn't feel like it needed it. Next up is the synth bass that I used. Now this synth bass that I used was this one, the bass brooding. I went over here to the bass and I found a bass brooding, this one. Really nice heavy bass, and I actually love that sound, like, and I will continue to use it in a lot of my beats because it's really hard. Yes, you can see here on my sampler I didn't do much to it. I didn't do practically anything to it, and it's just like a one note going over and over. But the processing that I made really changes things up, you know, like this is how it sounds like. Right? And then it just hits again in the one. And so I added some EQ to take out the low end. And we can see here how the EQ is, you know, I took out a lot of the high end also, because I just wanted that little greedy thing. And then I just added some kickstart to give it some movement. And that's practically it. I mean, these sounds are superb, and you don't have to make a lot to it. You just gotta be creative. So we got that. So that's like the melodic section, and the 808, which is the other one, the other kind of melodic section. I used the Orchid kick clean on 808, the Orchid 808 offset right here. So I have that one over here, is this one. Use that one. Really nice. I use a lot of Cymatics 808s, and these are some of my favorite ones. And then as you can see, I didn't do much to it. I just added the glide function on 23.3 milliseconds. As you can see, I didn't do anything here to it, right? But the processing is here. So without the effects, it sounds like this. And then with some EQ, like what I did with the EQ was just like take up a little bit of these frequencies so that my kick hits harder. And took a little bit out of the 808s also because it was getting really muddy, some of the sub, and just took out most of the right here 20k frequencies. And so sounds something like this. This is without the EQ, with the EQ. So it's subtle, but it helps a lot with keeping the mix clean, I guess, you know. And so then I added some Saturn saturation, so without the saturation and with the saturation. So what I did here was like, I also have that other bass which is really gritty, but I took, thanks to this FabFilter plugin, sorry, let me stop this. Thanks to this Saturn plugin, the FabFilter plugin, I can just divide this up into the frequencies that I want to enhance. So what I did was I left the sub without touching it and took just all these other frequencies, and then I boosted it like 20%. Not a lot. Like I said, these sounds are really awesome. So what I did was I just added my little taste of awesome, which is really subtle for when you get into the mastering stage or the mixing stage and you take everything up. You don't want those harmonics to like really crush your ear. And then I added this compressor, which is just side chaining also, side chaining with the kick. So here for the drums, I added this Orchid. I used the Orchid clean kick. So I went down over here to my drum one shots, and then I looked for the kick drums. They got a lot, so I went with this one, the clean. Sounds pretty good. That's how it sounds. I didn't do anything to it, just took the master a little bit down. But then I added the Cymatics Diablo plugin, and it sounds like this. It's really nice, like more punchy and a little louder, and you can also hear some harmonics from the kick. With the bass, the kick and the bass sounds like this. After the kick, we got the snare drum. Now the snare drum is this Orchid snare Lust Bug, which I found right here, the Lust Bug. And you know, I just played it with the MIDI, and I played like higher notes and also the original sample note or tone. So just to get like that percussive feeling, like if I were creating my own percussion loops. I just put some EQ right here, taking a lot of that high end there because it was, I blended it with a clap, so that clap had more higher frequency. So this is the snare. It also has a little a bit of verb. And then I layered it with this clap. And the clap is the Orchid Clap Flam. So it's this one over here, the Flam one. And see, I didn't do anything to this. I just added also to the clap some reverb and didn't do anything to it. It sounds really good. After that, we got the hi-hats. Now the hi-hats are interesting because they have this little pattern here, right? So like the hi-hats that I chose for this part were the Orchid hi-hat close 2. So it's hi-hat, Orchid hi-hat close 2, this one over here. Yeah, that one. And so I made a little pattern right here, really crazy ass pattern. And this is how it sounds like. It just has a little EQ, like only the top end I have, you know, only the highs. And it has a little bit of delay, so it jumps and it's more bouncy. Check this out. And you can hear the delay going in the back. It's really low, really subtle, because I don't want that to be really crazy. And next, after these hats, I have this, the open hi-hat. The open hi-hat that I used was the Orchid hi-hat open 1 right here. Let's see how that sounds. Just like that. Please stop. Next, I use this effects. I just put some room reverb on it, and it does this. That's it. And then the reverb, I have a pretty long decay, and that's just how it sounds. And that effects is actually the Cymatics Orchid Impact Effects 3. So you find that one on the effects folder right here. So it's this. You see? It's very different to what I got. How does it sound like that? I don't know, but it sounds perfect. I have this reverse crash here, which I also didn't do anything to it, just added some reverb. So this is like the normal crash, and then over here I use it as a reverse crash. And so the perk loop that I used was this one. And this perk loop, I actually put some pancake and some Pro EQ to it, see? And what I did to this loop is the Orchid Percussion loop for 100 BPM. So you can find it over here on the folder right here. Whatever it was loop 4. So it sounded like this. I didn't want the bloop or the other sounds. I just wanted the. So I chopped it up there, as you can hear here, and then just added some EQ and pancake because it already had some reverb. So that is all the instruments that I used to make this beat. Now it's time for what you guys wanted it's to hear the beat. So let's hear the beat in its entirety, and I'm gonna thank you guys for having so much patience during this video. And here it is. This is my Cymatics Orchid Beat Contest submission. And there you have it, guys. That is the beat. That is my submission. If you like this beat, if you like this video, please give that like button a touch. And if you know anybody who will love to sing over this, tag them also on Instagram. And if you are a singer, a rapper, and are looking for beats, then hit me up also on the DMs on Instagram. We're here always to work and collab and just have fun making music. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope that you found this educational and that now you can get more creative with your beats. As always, Dillian Mode out.